irritates me very frequently is the girls won't take business advice. They take everybody else's, an aunt who was once in vaudeville, an uncle who once met Harry Lauder at a banquet, or their mothers.
Yes, but there must be some girls who take business advice, Bob.
Of course there are, but they're few and far between. And they're a great pleasure to manage. And then there's another type that annoys me, George. Well, it's more than that because they're really a little pathetic. That's the girl who started out on a radio or stage career, then got married very young, say when she was 21 or 22. Then after a very few years of married life, wants to come back into the profession.
Yes, but what makes you say they're pathetic?
George, because they don't realize that in those few married years, they've lost their technique, or else that the fresh charm they had when they started has disappeared.
Do any of them improve with age, possibly?
Well, sometimes, George, but very rarely. And I find it very hard to tell them that. To tell them that the chances of a successful comeback are pretty slim. And it gets very difficult when I can see that they're desperate about it. They need the money, or else they're just discovering that their marriage was too quick, that it was all a mistake.
Well, I don't want to interrupt, Bob, but I've heard of a number of cases of girls marrying men who right away forbade them to continue their careers.
Yes, I love those fellas, George. They're the ones that lead cafe society lives and think it's very smart to hang around with professional people. That is, until they marry one. Then they turn around and try to cut the girl off from all her friends. I knew one girl who had that experience. Her husband flatly forbade her to continue as a singer, so she quit. After about a year, she came to see me one day, practically weeping, and asked me to find her a job as a singer on the air. I told her I wouldn't do it. I knew her husband had asked her to give up her career, and I didn't want to have him coming down on my neck.
Ah, angry husbands in your line, too?
By no means, George. I'm very careful about that, I can assure you. So this girl said she'd leave her husband if necessary, but I just had to get her a job. She was really frantic. I refused, not only because I didn't want the responsibility, but also because I didn't think she had a very good chance. A few months later, on her own hook, she did leave her husband, and after a few months of auditions, she had no job as a singer.
So she wound up without husband and without job, right?
Exactly, George.
Well, then your first rule for ambitious radio artists would be stay single, wouldn't it?
Oh, no, George, it certainly would not.
Oh.
I've had too much experience to give advice to the lovelorn. But I do know certain things that ambitious beginners might do that would help them.
Yes, and incidentally irritate and annoy you so much less.
Well, that's right. The first thing a girl wanting a career in radio should learn is patience. Nothing happens overnight, no matter what you may read in the fan magazine. She should work hard and, above all, be sincere, be natural. Acting is an art, not something to turn a girl into an affected little...
I know exactly what you mean. Go ahead, Bob.
If she's going to be an actress, let her stick to it. There's nothing worse than actresses who try to sing or singers who try to be actresses.
If I meet any such Bob Coe, I'm going to send him over to you for the proper discouragement.
Don't you dare do that, George Putnam. I never discourage anybody. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I'm always willing to listen to people and advise them on what to do if I can.
Even if they don't take the advice?
Well, frankly, George, I think they suffer for that more than I do. But I never discourage, I always encourage.
Oh, come now, Bob. Even the girl who calls you darling and leaves those lipsticky cigarettes all over your desk, huh?
Well, I encourage them too, George, but encourage them to go somewhere else.